What's going on, guys? It's DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another video. Now today we're going to be going over quite a few events that are be coming up or have already kind of been released or announced for the upcoming few months. And I figured I'd throw them all in a video. I might be a little out of breath because I am going to be trying to speed through this because there is a bit to talk about, and I do want to give you the best information. But before that, please remember, like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below on what you would like to see next. So here we go. So starting off, I'm going to be talking first about the 2022 DC1 tournament. Now, if you don't know, DC1 tournaments are pretty exclusive tournaments that are held for in specific prizing, very exclusive stuff that you may only be able to get through these events. And we do only have one listing of a upcoming event, which is the Play TCG, and I have the site open, so I'm gonna show you in a second. But basically, what happens is you play in this online tournament just like you normally would, and there are, by the way, some for Europe and Oceania, but for this video I'll talk about North America. You can always go to world.digimon.com, which is where this information is. It's the official Digimon card game website. But anyway, you play a best of three game with a constructed deck. All the rules are pretty much the same, and you, just for entering, you get a pretty good amount of stuff. You get a playmat, which is going to have the Gallantmon, Guilmon, and the Gallantmon in the same mat, and that's pretty cool just by itself. You also get a set of sleeves, and you also get the promo Guilmon, the one that came, I think it was from the Dash Pack or something that you got from BT4. I think it was BT4. But anyway, it's an altered art. It's a really good one. It's the one that you digivolve on top of Digimon and basically able to swing. Digimon lets you draw one. Guilmon lets you draw one when attacking, so it's a draw two. It is used in BT10 for the yellow-red kind of like control deck that people are hyping up using the maid mode, that kind of thing. So people may look to pick up this copy of it. It's an altered art. It looks actually really cool in my opinion. I've seen it up close too. It is really nice. We have the Lightning Joust over here as well, being a new print as well. And then we have extra stuff depending on where you get up to. So if you're top 64, you get a Growlmon altered art, a War Growlmon if the top 32, and then in the top 8 get a Gallantmon. So it's cool that the top 8 gets like these altered arts, and I don't remember what exact set. I think this is the EX one. I'm not 100% certain if all these are the EX versions or if they're previous versions. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. It says right here, Starter Deck 7. So the Growlmon and Guilmon are from Starter Deck 7, and then the EX2 one is the Gallantmon. And just so you can see, this is pretty much the artwork if you go all the way to the top here. This is the artwork that's going to be on the card. So as you can see, it uses that kind of matrix look to it that they did in the show, which I think is really nice. Now, going into the specific event, this event is still live. There are still tickets available from what I understand. The event will be taking place on 10/29, October 29th at the end of this month. They have already went on sale for tickets, but I think the price is somewhat deterrent to some people who are entering because it's a $65 entry, and I don't know if there's extra added onto that, honestly. I had clicked this link, the one that keeps highlighting over here, but basically, it's $65. It's quite a lot, but what you're getting for it depends on your pros versus cons and what you think is worth it. So like if you look here, like if you look at a mat right here, usually mats go for $20 to $30, and especially if it's an exclusive mat, it may go to $40 around that. Then you have the sleeves, which probably are about $10 itself. So that right here is probably about $40 to $50. The Guilmon currently I think is going for about $20 online on TCG Player. So that's additional $20. So that's your entrance right there. And then whatever else you get would be a little bit higher. I have seen some of the numbers, which are a little crazy since there have been only maybe one or two events that have had the DC1 tournament. So hopefully this would bring down those prices, but it really is dependent on what you value. And if you think that this is a tournament that you want to enter, I have, you can go to Digimon card game, world.digimoncard.com, and click on the event, and it'll go right to the site. And the site, by the way, is playtcg.gg, which they have a bunch of other events. So if you go to home, you'll see some other stuff too. Now, going into our second little piece here, we have the Digimon card game store championships that have been announced from October, November. Now, as far as when they occur, they are going to be basically whatever time your store has decided for it. It's either going to be October or November. I'm not exactly sure. I know that for September, they really just said September, October because one event ended up being October 1st. So, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But over here, it's October 22nd to November 13th, so in a few weeks. And what you get for participating is they're basically kind of the same, but this one has the 2022 store participant pack, and you get only one of these cards in each pack. And then you have the store championship pack over here. As you can see, you have 7 cards that are here. And you have the scatter mode, you have Nemon, you have the Cordramon, the Gilamon, the Metal Mamamon, Tortamon, Wizardmon over here. Now the ones that are seeing the most like value right now are actually the Scatter Mode, the Cordramon, and the Gilamon, and it's because mainly Scatter Mode is pretty much played in every purple deck at the moment. I kid about that a little bit, but it is true. Purple does like to use a lot of Scatter Modes in most cases. Then the Cordramon will be seeing some play in the upcoming formats. Being able to be hit from security to draw 2 is always very good, and it gets you a body on board. And then Gilamon just having the ability to warp Digivolve into your Gallantmon, if your opponent has a level 6 or higher, is also a very good card. And I do think that's going to be something that later down the line you may see some more play down if they give other Gallantmon support. So that's pretty good. Now for the other 3, they're okay. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They're okay. Wizardmon, Tortamon, Mamamon, it's cool. And for the championship, you get the whole set, so you have everything in there. And then for the participant pack, you get 1 per pack. Not much else to say about this, just that it's the same kind of thing. Swiss tournaments, no top cut. And then the one who basically, if you go undefeated, you get the championship pack. If you go usually 3-1, unfortunately, I think you don't make that. So that's that. Going into the next thing, I actually was looking at this before. So this is the pre-release tournament for the Cross Encounter. That's going to happen October 7th and October 14th, I think, for us, for North America. So as you know, if you ever read these things or if you've seen my previous videos on pre-releases, you'll see that I usually go into this more in depth, but I'm just going to kind of just breeze over through most of it. So as we can see for the set schedule, it's October 7th for Europe, Latin America, Oceania, and North America is October 14th. So in about 2 weeks, we will be getting this stuff here, the pre-release. Now, what you can do with pre-release is every time you buy a box, you essentially get a pre-release pack. And yeah, pre-release is worth some money. People like to buy them, and you can sell them and make some good amount of money. Honestly, it's, I think, a good way of either making a little bit of money back from buying these boxes, or just trying to maybe bling out your deck with some really good cards that you may want to put in or hold on to for late games or later sets. So, for example, Called by the Grave, I think it's Calling by the Grave, or Calling from the Darkness, I think it's called, is 1 cost, and it is a uncommon, I think. And if you don't know, the pre-release packs, you do get 2 cards, and they're either uncommon or rare cards. And just my example, Calling from the Darkness, basically allows you to return 2 purple Digimon, up to 2 purple Digimon from your trash to your hand. And it's a foil, and it's going for $50 right now, which is kind of crazy. So that's the kind of thing you want to just keep in mind. Now, in terms of the participation card, you do get the Agumon. Now, this is the Agumon from BTA. It's the black Agumon that lets you look at the top 4. You can get a Dragonkin and a Greymon from them to your hand, and then the rest go to bottom. It can digivolve from red or black. I like this art because it's kind of like you have the Agumon that really was for black or Greymon in a sense, with the Greymon that's from Cross Hearts, or Cross Blue Flare, I mean. So I think that's kind of a cool concept to make in an artwork for a card. Additionally, if you win the tournament, if you win the pre-release, you get a War Growlmon, and it's the one from EX2. I think the artwork is pretty good, but it's pretty much the same artwork, I think, as the one we actually already have, other than the background being a little different. It is a shiny card, so if you like shiny cards, maybe this is for you. But yeah, that's the card you kind of get for winning the tournament. I mean, I feel like these cards are always going to hold some value because they're protagonist cards. Protagonist cards always have plot armor, and you never know, some older cards can end up being used in future formats as well when they eventually put in more Growlmon, Gallantmon support. So that is that, and then I'm just going to quickly just go into this a tiny bit. So this is the Digimon card game, sealed format rules. I'm not going to go into everything, but I'm going to just generally talk about it. It's kind of like how you normally play, except that you can digivolve onto any color, other than like cards that say you can specifically digivolve on top of a color or have another specific requirement. Usually your decks are 40 cards and you have 5 Digi Eggs. There's no four card limit, so you can have 5 of the same number cards. So for example, let's say you have the Shoutmon from BT10, you could play 8 of the Shoutmon from BT10 if you wanted to. There would be no restriction on that, so that is something to keep in mind when you're forming these decks. It's a best of 3 kind of Swiss format kind of thing. Most cases, that's what most people do. Sideboards. So specifically in games like this, like pre-release tournaments, sideboards are allowed, and it's basically any card that you pulled from your packs. And I forgot to say, it is a sealed play kind of thing, so you can only use the cards that you're given, not other cards. You can't trade the cards, and you cannot use cards from the boxes that you bought from. So that is something just to keep in mind when you're putting these together. They give you 6 packs, and you make your 40 card deck from 15 card packs. So that is that. And then there's nothing else really worth mentioning here. Again, I'm going to put a link to the Digimon site, and if you go to the pre-release tab, you can scroll down, you'll see like a tab to get to the rules. So that's something to keep in mind. There are some other things here about DNA, which I won't get to because I don't think we get any DNAs in BT10. So that's just something I'll mention later down the line. So anyway, going into the next event, we have Tamara Party 6. So this is something that's interesting because actually my personal locals have never actually done a Tamara Party, or I think they may have just done one in the beginning, but never done again. But this is something you can bring up to your locals and see if they're interested in actually forming a Tamara Party tournament. And what happens is you play in the tournament, and then there's exclusive prizing. It usually occurs in the middle of October, and they basically can do things like they can run tournaments. If they choose not to run tournaments, they can kind of do like a promotional card, like just like give this when you're entering or something like that. And there are 3 promos that are going to be given, and these are the 3 War Growlmon, Talmon, and Rapidmon. Now the artworks I think really pop in this, and this is why I was saying the War Growlmon looks really good, and so I would consider this definitely as one of the things you want to try out, or at least tell your locals that you're interested in. They may be able to get some product before the actual event occurs. I don't know if they had to apply for this earlier on, so sometimes I've heard that they have to reach out like 6 weeks in advance or something like that. So because we're already in October, this may end up not happening for some locals, but yeah, just be aware of it. Lastly, this is probably the newest piece of information, is that the UltiCup has been announced for November. I'm going to go over some of the things, again, like prizing that you can get from it. There are some rules that you want to take a look at, especially here, which I'll get to in a second. We'll open that up together. But the ones that we are going to be having are all in November. One is Core TCG. Now, I don't know if this is going to be online or in person. It's yet to be seen, but you have Core TCG on November 12th. You have PPG on November 19th, and then you have Top Cut events on November 26th. Guys, not exactly the best date to have these events on. But yeah, so you're going to have those, and yeah, these ones, November 12th and 19th, I feel like Top Cut may be getting screwed on this with November 26th. But, a lot of people will be home. Maybe people will be able to enter and eat some turkey on the same while on play facing their opponent. But yeah, so same thing, singles constructed, best of 3, no top cut for these matches. You play until essentially there's either one undefeated or like they reach like 7 or 8 rounds. So that is going to be essentially in November. November is going to be pretty much BT10 format. So we'll see definitely a lot of BT10 stuff. What you can get for a pricing here, this is actually cool. You can get Event Pack 3, and beginning with the participation, you get a Demi Vmon Alt Art promo card. Now, I'll go over the colors in a second, but if you get to the top 128, you get the Vmon. If you get to the top 64, you get X Vmon, and then you get the Pyojimon from Starter Deck 9 as an alt art. And then if you get into top 8, of course, you get Imperial Fighter Mode, alt art. And then if you get the top 2, you get the Omnimon. This might be new. I'm not sure. I think this might be new. No. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'll have to look down. And then the champion one over here, which is Imperial Paladin Mode, alt art, and the boost in a booster box. So let's go over these real quick, and then I'll go over any of the rule changes that we may see. So in terms of Event Pack 3, we do have the altered art cards. These are all pretty much the hybrids and Jessamon stuff. So I definitely think that some people who are going to be excited for the Jessamon support coming out are going to be looking to get the Jessamon stuff, the Huckmon. This is the BT6 Huckmon, the BT6 Bao Huck, and the BT6 Savior. And then we have the Kuma. We have all the, basically the blue, the yellow, and the green, and the purple hybrids in their champion. I think they're like beasts. I forgot what they call it. Beast Digivolution. And then their Ancient Sphinxmon, which is their level 6, which, most of the time, unless I think it's Ancient Beelzemon is the only one that actually saw like play in that format. But yeah, so you can basically get these, and then you can get, which is actually really cool, is the what's it called, Diabormon support. So this is the one, I think it was the promo card. Yeah, it's a promo card, Karamon, that gets an altered art. Then you have the promo Kurosakimon, and then you have actually the promo Diabormon. And this is very exciting because Event Pack 3 is a bit harder to get in some cases, and I definitely will be in one of these tournaments, or one or two at least, and try to get some of those. Now, every spot you get, you'll get a few extra things. It looks like you get 2 on participation, but I don't know if you are actually getting any more. This might be mainly for regionals that you get multiple packs. But anyway, this is the art for the Demi Vmon. It's pretty cool. You have the Vmon in the corner there, and you have like, it's just very cute. And then it's stamped with the Ultimate Cup in there. The Vmon, this is the Jamming Vmon from BT3. Just basically a swing with jamming, and this is personally one of my favorite artworks because you have the Wormmon and the Vmon in the picture, but you also have Fighter Mode in the background, and that is super cool in my opinion because it's one of my favorite Digimon in general. Then you have the X Vmon. This is the jamming one. This is basically what like the entire line of the deck you want to make is. I've always liked this artwork. I'm not a huge fan of it because I think the other ones are a little bit better, but this one personally, this is my favorite right now. Is you have the Stingmon and the XVmon in the background, and the artwork on this one is just super cool. You have the Imperial Fighter Mode. Again, this was the one that I was saying. I think this was like the champion gets it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Paladin. I'm sorry. Top 8 gets the Fighter Mode. So top 8 will get the Fighter Mode over here, and as you can see, it really looks much cooler as like an alt art than what we got. And then of course you get the Omnimon. This is a gorgeous Omnimon. I'm hoping one day I will be good enough to get one of these by winning it. And then of course you have the Paladin Mode thing for the champion, and this is a really cool artwork as well. I think it's really on par with this one over here. This one, honestly, just reminds me of Diabormon from the first movie. I think it is, but yeah, it's really gorgeous. But anyway, I'm going to go over quickly the rules, and as you can see here, the online Ultimate Cup events, these are 2 different forms of rules, so just keep that in mind. So the first thing is if you're playing the Ultimate Cup online, after players have, you do a mulligan, and if you don't know what a mulligan is, essentially you draw 5. If you like your hand, you keep it. If you don't, you put it to the bottom of your deck. You don't shuffle your deck. You just draw 5 new cards, and then that's it. You can do that once per game. If it's offline, then you do have mulligan, but you also have sideboards, and what that means is that you can take 5 cards and make that into cards that you may want to switch in or out of the deck that you're playing, and all the other rules apply. Like you can't the total amount, including your side deck, has to be like 4 of the same number card. Like they have to be like shown on screen. Sorry, not off. This is an offline event. Sorry. They have to be like visible to the other player. Like you can't just keep it in a box and stuff like that. You actually have to take the 5 cards out. You have to put them on the side, and you can't swap them out for other cards at any point during the tournament. So that is basically everything here. So what do you guys think? Are you interested in any of these events? Are you excited? Are you going to be talking to your locals to get some more stuff going on? I know that for me, I am definitely going to be trying to get one more Ultimate Cup by the end of the year. Hopefully, maybe I could get into 2. I know that for a Tamara Party, it probably is not going to happen for my locals. But the pre-release, I'm really excited for. I do love this Agumon. I'm a huge Black War Greymon fan. If you don't know, if you look at my tab, I mean, look at my icon. And then we have the DC1 Cup. I'm not sure about this one. There's still a lot of tickets left. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, with that said, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below. Thank you for watching. Have a great one, guys.